Welcome back to our recap of CANTO 2012. We now share with you the highlights of the first ever Women and Girls in ITC breakfast meeting. One of the main objectives of the Millennium Development Goals, or MDGs, enshrined in the United Nations Charter is the basic human rights of gender equality. Information communication technology tools, it is said, can help accelerate the progress towards achieving this target. According to industry watchers, the gender gap in ICT is significant, with studies showing as many as 40% more men use and have access to ICT tools than their female counterparts. It is in view of this, coupled with many other factors, that CANTO took a bold step this year. In the midst of the networking and industry updates, officials included what they hope will be a permanent feature in conferences to come. A special session to discuss the position, role and the needs of women and girls in the world of information communication technology.
This year was the first year that we introduced the Women and Girls in ICT breakfast meeting. We don't know if it will take the same form next year. Probably it will, but we want to make it a permanent feature of this conference. So at least once a year, you will have a session whereby we in CANTO discuss with other other women in the Caribbean region, other stakeholders on how far we are with women and girls in ICT. A couple of things that we definitely will consider is gathering statistics on what the situation is with women and girls, because we are making a lot of guesses, but we are not sure about the Caribbean, what the real statistics are.
The officials believe that using the power of ICTs will aid in providing new digital opportunities of equality, empowerment, education and employment for women and girls in this information technology era. The meeting, addressed by a cadre of professional women not only in ICT, sought to highlight the need for more women to understand and accept their roles in this evolving sector. Dr. Felicia Mabuza Suttle is a motivational speaker and South African talk show host.
Good girl follows rules. Gutsy girl breaks the rules and makes her own. Good girl tries to do everything. Gutsy girl has a clear goal for the future. Good girl works her tail off. Gutsy girl does just what is essential. Good girl wants everybody to like her. Gutsy girl doesn't care who likes her or not. Good girl keeps a low profile. Gutsy girl walks tall like a winner. Good girl waits patiently for a raise. Gutsy girl asks for what she knows she deserves and should get. Good girl avoids confrontation. Gutsy girl faces trouble head on. A good girl worries about other people's opinion. A gutsy girl trusts her instincts. Good girl never takes risks. Gutsy girl always takes risks.
Unfortunately, in these days of seeking equality, the IT sector is still dominated by men. Although not a quote physical unquote demanding sector, IT is still generally a man thing. The classic IT worker is influencing women and girls from venturing into the sector, coupled with countless other factors such as social background and culture. Another pertinent factor is the pay gap, causing women and girls to avoid the sector altogether. According to several international studies, female IT professionals working full-time earn an average 13% less than their male counterparts in the field. Keynote speaker at the inaugural meeting was Senior Advisor for Women and Technology in the U.S. State Department, Anne May Chang. Chang, an engineer of 25 years and a former Google executive, says there is no denying the gender gap that exists.
I think it's critical for us to do a better job of collecting data on different behavior for women and men in accessing and using IT. So for example, we don't know how many women are using the internet, and some indicators show that maybe as few as 40% fewer women are accessing the internet in developing countries, and that puts them at a great disadvantage. We also know that women and men use mobile phones and use the internet very differently, and unless we understand those different usage patterns, it's hard for us to build products and services that are well suited for women and men.
Solidifying that point is the number of women in Caribbean politics given the mandate to oversee the sector. This year's 28th General CANTO Conference saw the first female government minister attending the meeting.
Knowing that I have a contribution to make, not only for women and girls, but for all the people in Belize. And of course, looking forward, realizing that there is a gender gap in ICT in particular, I will put a lot of emphasis on making sure that at the end of my term and when I finish with this job, that there will be more women involved. My primary emphasis has to be Belize, but sitting on the panel this morning, I realized that what is missing for the Caribbean, as was said by several other speakers, is statistics. And I will go back, work on a project, research project. We have to know why women and girls are not involved. We heard several reasons this morning, but they're all anecdotal. We have to move from that to know for sure what are the reasons women don't get into this sector and what we have to do to change that.
And May Chang, however, revealed that in the Caribbean's case, the IT gender gap is much smaller. Nonetheless, she challenged CANTO officials to gather statistics on the way women use technology.
I'd like to really encourage both governments and industry to collect data that indicates the gender of the user, so that we understand when, rather than looking at all the usage statistics in aggregate, we can disaggregate and look at the differences in behavior between women and men and make better choices about how we design our products.
We have a real dearth in the region with regard to statistics, and I think we need to start picking up the pace because we need to be able to show very frontally. I believe there are a lot more women engaged in the ICT sector than we really know, and we need to salute those, encourage them to continue, and also to find other mechanisms for engaging and bringing them into the industry.
Wanting to emulate some of the Caribbean women who have made their mark in this male-dominated and ever-changing digital world, a 17-year-old biochemistry student, Amanzi Amu of Belize. Amanzi is the winner of this year's Caribbean-wide essay competition hosted by CANTO. The organization challenged young people who entered the competition to share their views on women and girls in ICTs in a bid to understand why females are so underrepresented in the industry and what could be done to attract them.
When I saw this topic, women and girls in ICT, there was a connection. Since my grandmother's mother and also her grandmother were punched statistics, and they had a status quo, and they had dreams that that were being unrealized. So this competition gave me an opportunity to talk about what I've been longing to talk about. ICT, Information Communication Technologies, acts as an advocate for women and girls, helping them to climb up the social ladder and compete in this male-dominated world. In everything you do as a Christian and also as a female of all gender, as a female, you have to make your mark and you have to be on top. And I think every woman in here have to, always realize that because you're a female, they will always feel that, you're not supposed to be there, or you're not supposed to do that. That is, I don't want to say a word I'm not supposed to say, but that is not true. You have to make your mark. And that is one of the reasons that I did this essay.
Dr. Felicia Mabuza-Suttle believes, like anything else, the foundation for women achieving parallel success in the ICT sector is laid in their childhood.
I think it all starts with our upbringing to a great extent. The minute we as little girls are taught confidence, which is the #1 problem, confidence, and as I use the Marcus Garvey quote, without confidence you're twice defeated in the race of life. With confidence you've won even before you've started. So if that little girl starts there, she understands that the sky is the limit. Education is the next important thing. Making sure that young girls go and study in fields that supposedly were relegated only to boys and start taking over.
As mentioned earlier by the keynote speaker Ann May Cheng, the gender gap in ICT in the Caribbean is a small one, with regional women ensuring that they make their mark on the sector. Case in point is CANTO's Secretary General Rahini Fraser. He has big plans for CANTO. We'll tell you all about it and the organization when we return.
Hello, I'm Claire Downs-Haynes of Lyme, Barbados, and I just want to congratulate CANTO on 28 years of sterling work in the Caribbean, and they've certainly made a wonderful contribution to the advancement and development of telecommunications in the Caribbean as it is today.